The rumors have been circling for years, whispers that kept popping up in the love and hip-hop universe, but never had solid confirmation. Until now. Young Jock has finally come forward, breaking his silence on what fans always suspected. There was, indeed, something real going on between Kendra and Lil Scrappy. This revelation has sent shockwaves through Atlanta's hip-hop scene, leaving fans questioning loyalties, friendships, and whether the drama behind the cameras was way deeper than anyone ever realized. When you talk about Atlanta hip-hop culture, you can't escape the drama that comes with it, and love and hip-hop. Atlanta has been the stage where much of it unfolds. For years, fans have debated whether certain storylines were exaggerated for television or if the behind-the-scenes rumors were actually true. One of the juiciest whispers involved Kendra Robinson, longtime fiancé and now wife of Young Jock, and her alleged connection to Lil Scrappy. For the longest time, both Kendra and Scrappy denied it, brushing off speculation as just gossip designed to stir the pot. But now Jock himself has stepped in and confirmed what everyone thought they knew but couldn't prove. Let's rewind to give this revelation its full context. Young Jock and Kendra's relationship has never been smooth sailing. From the start, it was clouded by drama, with Jock's past relationships constantly haunting their present. Whether it was Carly Red throwing shade, or Jock's own reputation as a ladies' man raising eyebrows, Kendra had to deal with a lot of noise surrounding her romance. But perhaps the loudest whisper of them all was that before Jock and Kendra became serious, she had shared more than just a friendship with Scrappy. Now for fans of the show, the possibility wasn't completely far-fetched. The Atlanta circle is small, and many of the cast members cross paths socially and professionally. Scrappy, who's had his own roller coaster relationships with Bambi and Erica Dixon, was always caught in some kind of mess. And while the show rarely put Kendra and Scrappy's alleged past front and center, eagle-eyed fans picked up on their chemistry during certain scenes. Social media threads, blogs, and even YouTube gossip channels became hotspots for dissecting every interaction between them. Was there tension? Was there history? People debated it for years. And then came the moment fans couldn't ignore. In a recent candid interview, Young Jock was asked directly about the speculation that Kendra once had something with Scrappy. For a split second, he hesitated, the kind of pause that speaks louder than words. Then, almost casually, he confirmed it. He didn't go into graphic detail, nor did he spin a scandalous tale, but his words were enough to blow the lid off the rumor. Jock admitted that there had been a connection between the two before he and Kendra officially solidified their relationship. For the fans who've been following this saga for years, that confirmation was all they needed. Twitter lit up instantly. Comments ranged from shocked to smug, with people saying things like, "I knew it, they never fooled me," or "This explains why Bambi was always side-eyeing Kendra." Others sympathized with Jock, questioning how he managed to navigate being married to someone who had history with one of his closest friends in the industry. But here's where it gets even more layered. Jock didn't frame the revelation as a betrayal. In fact, he was calm and almost nonchalant about it. According to him, the timeline of Kendra and Scrappy's connection didn't overlap with his relationship with her. In his eyes, there was no disloyalty, no foul play, just two people who had a brief moment before deciding to move in different directions. Still, the fact that he confirmed it gave validation to years of suspicion and added a new dynamic to how fans view the friendships and alliances on the show. What makes this even messier is how it affects Scrappy's current situation. He's been going through a rough patch with Bambi, their marriage constantly tested in front of the cameras. Bambi herself has had her share of conflicts with Kendra, making this revelation hit even harder. Suddenly, it's not just about Scrappy and Bambi's issues or Jock and Kendra's marriage. It's about a complicated web of friendships, past romances, and the thin line between loyalty and secrecy. The timing of Jock's confirmation also raises questions. Why now? Why, after all these years of denying or dodging the topic, would he decide to come clean? Some fans speculate that Jock was simply tired of the whispers and wanted to address the elephant in the room once and for all. Others think it's connected to building buzz for the next season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. After all, nothing fuels ratings like a scandal, especially one that connects multiple cast members in such a personal way. And let's not forget, Jock isn't just any cast member. He's one of the show's central figures, a fan favorite because of his humor, his messy past, and his ability to own up to his mistakes. By confirming the rumor, he might actually be taking control of the narrative, making sure that when the topic inevitably comes up on the show, he's already set the record straight. But fans aren't just interested in Jock's perspective. They want to know how Scrappy and Kendra feel about this being out in the open. Scrappy hasn't publicly addressed Jock's comments yet, but people are already speculating how he'll react. Will he downplay it, say it wasn't serious, and move on? Or will this ignite new tension between him and Jock, especially if Scrappy feels like some things should have stayed private? As for Kendra, she's been vocal in the past about defending her relationship with Jock, so it'll be interesting to see how she spins this revelation in her favor. This moment also says a lot about the blurred lines between personal lives and reality TV. On one hand, Jock's confirmation humanizes him. He's acknowledging something real, not hiding behind a scripted narrative. On the other hand, it adds more fuel to the idea that Love and Hip Hop thrives on exposing personal business, even when the cameras aren't rolling. Fans love the drama, but the cast members pay the price in their real relationships. And in the middle of all this, the fans are eating it up. Forums are exploding with theories about what really went down between Kendra and Scrappy when it happened, and how serious it was. Some fans argue that Jock should have never brought it up at all, because now it opens up old wounds. Others believe honesty is the best policy, and by admitting it, Jock has removed the power from anyone else trying to use it against him. One thing's for sure, Jock's confirmation has shifted the dynamics once again. Relationships, friendships, and trust will all be tested, and while the cast may try to downplay it, the fans won't let it go anytime soon. For years, people suspected the truth. Now they finally have it, and it's only making the Love and Hip Hop universe more unpredictable than ever. The news spread like wildfire. Young Jock's confirmation wasn't just another casual reveal. It was the spark that ignited a storm across social media, the Love and Hip Hop community, and the hip hop industry at large. By the time Jock left that interview chair, the internet had already picked up the clip, chopped it into viral snippets, and circulated it on every platform. Blogs were blasting headlines, Twitter was flooded with memes, and Instagram was filled with side-by-side pictures of Kendra and Scrappy, with captions like, "We been new," and "Jock just gave us the receipts." But while fans online were celebrating their suspicions being confirmed, behind the scenes, it was pure chaos. Scrappy's phone wouldn't stop buzzing, and Kendra, well, she was fuming. According to sources close to Kendra, she felt completely betrayed by Jock. For years, she had worked hard to maintain her image as the clean-cut attorney who held herself above the messy drama. Her whole marriage to Jock was built on the idea that they were a power couple who had worked through obstacles and committed to each other despite the chaos of reality TV. Now, in one careless admission, Jock had blown up her carefully constructed world. She didn't even care about the rumors, one insider explained. She cared that Jock put her name in his mouth in a way that made her look weak. People already thought she was tolerating too much from Jock, and now, this makes her look like she was playing both sides. Scrappy, on the other hand, wasn't exactly trying to deny anything. In fact, people close to him said he was relieved. For years, he'd been living in this double life where the rumors never stopped following him. His relationship with Bambi had long been strained, and while they tried to keep things private for the sake of their kids, Scrappy always had one foot out the door. The confirmation wasn't something he planned, but now that Jock had spoken, Scrappy seemed ready to own it. What fans didn't know was that Jock's slip-up wasn't as accidental as it seemed. Several people close to the situation claimed Jock had been under pressure for months, especially with his and Kendra's relationship reportedly on the rocks. The timing of his reveal, they said, was calculated. His way of putting everything on the table, even if it meant hurting himself in the process. And let's not forget the irony. Jock wasn't just exposing Scrappy and Kendra, he was also exposing his own marriage, because if Scrappy and Kendra were involved, that meant she had betrayed him too. Meanwhile, Bambi jumped in the mix, and her response was as sharp as fans expected. On Instagram Live, she didn't name names, but she made her point loud and clear. Point loud and clear. "Some of y'all women be acting like y'all better than the rest of us," she said, sipping from a wine glass. "But at the end of the day, y'all be doing the same dirt, just in prettier packages. Don't play the victim when your skeletons come walking out." Fans immediately connected the dots. She didn't have to say Kendra's name. Everyone knew who she was talking about. What made things even more dramatic was that Kendra couldn't just brush this off as baseless gossip. Jock's word was undeniable. If there was one thing fans knew about Jock, it was that his mouth sometimes got ahead of his brain, but he never lied about messy situations. His accidental confirmations had a history of exposing truths no one else wanted out. By this point, the Love and Hip Hop producers were already plotting. The cameras had caught wind of the scandal, and insiders revealed that they wanted to make this the central storyline of the upcoming season. Jock's reveal was too juicy to pass up. It had betrayal, infidelity, friendship turned sour, and the collapse of a marriage all rolled into one explosive package. But fans weren't just waiting for the show. They wanted answers now. And that's where things got really messy. Scrappy broke his silence in a cryptic Instagram story. He didn't outright confirm the relationship with Kendra, but his words were enough to stir the pot even further. Sometimes, the truth come out in ways you ain't expect, but real ones already know what it is. At the end of the day, I ain't perfect, never claimed to be. I just keep it 100, always have, always will. That was all it took. Fans flooded the comments, saying he might as well have admitted everything. That's a confession if I ever saw one, one fan wrote. Another said, Scrappy basically said, yeah, I did it, so what? Meanwhile, Kendra took a completely different approach. Instead of addressing it head-on, she doubled down on professionalism. She posted a carefully staged photo of herself, in court attire, standing outside the courthouse with the caption, "Focus, always." It was her way of signaling that she wasn't going to let Jock or Scrappy's drama derail her career. But behind closed doors, sources said Kendra was furious, not just with Jock for running his mouth, but with Scrappy for letting the truth come out in a way that made her look like she wasn't in control of her own narrative. And that's the part that fans found most shocking. For years, people speculated about Jock and Kendra's marriage being rocky, but no one expected Jock himself to be the one to blow it all up. It wasn't just confirmation of an affair. It was a public unraveling of a relationship that had already been on shaky ground. In the days that followed, Jock tried to walk back his statement, claiming his words were taken out of context. But the damage was already done. Nobody believed his backtracking. If anything, his attempt to cover it up only made fans believe even more that what he said was the truth. And let's not forget, Scrappy and Jock aren't just industry peers. They're friends, or at least they used to be. The fallout from this revelation went beyond the romantic drama. It was a brotherhood torn apart. Scrappy reportedly felt betrayed that Jock would air out something so personal without talking to him first. Jock, on the other hand, felt like he was just telling the truth and refusing to keep carrying secrets that were weighing him down. By now, it was clear this wasn't just a scandal. It was a full-on implosion. Friendships were broken, relationships were exposed, and reputations were hanging by a thread. Fans weren't just entertained, they were invested. Everyone wanted to know how deep the relationship between Scrappy and Kendra really went, when it started, and whether Jock knew all along. And most importantly, where did things go from here? The aftermath of young Jock's confession had the entire love and hip-hop universe spiraling. Social media platforms were drowning in endless debates, theories, and raw emotions. Fans who had been following the show for years felt both vindicated and betrayed at the same time. On one hand, they finally had confirmation of something they had always suspected, that there was more than just innocent friendship between Kendra and Scrappy. On the other hand, the reality of that confirmation shattered the illusion of loyalty that so many believed tied this cast together. It wasn't just a plotline anymore, it was real life bleeding through the screen. Scrappy himself remained unusually quiet in the days following Jock's revelation. For a man who was never shy about speaking his mind, his silence was louder than words. He posted a few cryptic Instagram stories, black screens with praying hands emojis, one video of him riding in his car with no sound, and another post of his daughter with the caption, "My heart, my peace." It was clear he was choosing to shift attention away from himself, but that only made the public hungrier for answers. Fans started tagging him under every post related to Kendra, demanding clarity. Was this a one-time slip? Was it an ongoing situation? Or worse, Had his relationship with Bambi already been dead long before anyone knew? Meanwhile, Kendra found herself in the center of the storm. She had built her brand as a strong, educated woman who wasn't just Jock's wife, but an independent attorney with her own career and influence. But now her credibility was under fire. People questioned her loyalty, her values, and even her relationship with Jock. Critics accused her of using Jock as a cover for something deeper. Memes began circulating, comparing her vows at the wedding to the reality of what Jock had revealed. One viral tweet read, "She said forever, but meant until Scrappy calls back." Kendra did not stay silent for long. In a live session that quickly racked up over 100,000 viewers, she finally broke her silence. Looking polished but visibly tense, she addressed the rumors head-on. What Jock said wasn't a lie, she admitted carefully, choosing her words like a lawyer in court. But y'all twisting the timeline. What happened with Scrappy was before me and Jock were official. Before rings, before commitments, before this marriage even had a name. Don't make it something it's not. Her attempt to clarify only fueled more speculation. Viewers dissected her statement frame by frame, noting her hesitation, her nervous lip bite, and her refusal to deny deeper emotional ties with Scrappy. The narrative quickly spun out of her control. Instead of clearing her name, fans began accusing her of trying to manipulate the truth. Some even dug up old clips from Love and Hip Hop, where Kendra appeared visibly uncomfortable whenever Jock and Scrappy were in the same room together, suggesting that the tension had always been hiding in plain sight. As for Jock, the man who set this entire firestorm ablaze, he seemed unbothered. He posted laughing emojis, shared fan memes, and even joked in a radio interview. "Look, I just said what everybody already knew. Ain't no secrets no more. Y'all wanted real? I gave y'all real." His nonchalant attitude infuriated Kendra, who felt blindsided by how casually he exposed such a sensitive part of her past. Reports soon surfaced that she had confronted him off-camera, furious that he didn't consider how it would impact her reputation. Their marriage, already shaky from Jock's past infidelities, was now hanging by a thread. The fallout didn't just affect Jock and Kendra. It spread through the entire cast. Bambi, who had her own long and messy history with Scrappy, used the opportunity to air out her frustrations. In a heated Instagram rant, she dragged both Scrappy and Kendra, saying, "This right here is why I don't trust nobody in this circle. Everybody fake smiling, fake supporting, but behind the scenes, it's always some snake shot. I've been saying it, but now y'all see." Her post quickly went viral, with fans praising her for speaking her truth while others accused her of being bitter. The revelation also created a divide among the men. While Scrappy tried to maintain his silence, people close to him hinted that he felt betrayed, not just by Kendra, but by Jock for bringing it to the public. Scrappy and Jock's brotherhood had been one of the strongest bonds on the show. They had weathered countless fights, scandals, and drama, but this felt like a different kind of betrayal. Sources claimed Scrappy stopped returning Jock's calls, and there were whispers that their once tight friendship might be over for good. Chucker? Real turning point came when producers of Love and Hip Hop saw the ratings spike from the drama. They immediately planned a special sit-down episode to address the situation, knowing full well that fans were desperate to hear everyone's side. In a tense, dimly lit studio, Jock, Kendra, Scrappy, and Bambi were brought face to face. Cameras captured every glare, every eye roll, every cutting remark. The most explosive moment came when Scrappy finally broke his silence on camera. Leaning forward, his voice low but steady, he said, "Look, I ain't gonna sit here and act like nothing happened. Yeah, me and Kendra had a moment. But it wasn't what people making it out to be. It wasn't no love affair. It wasn't no betrayal to Jock. It was just something that happened in a time when everybody was confused." His admission stunned viewers. For the first time, Scrappy publicly acknowledged what fans had been speculating for years. But before anyone could breathe, Bambi erupted. She turned to Scrappy, her voice shaking with anger. "So all them nights you was lying to me, it was just confusion? Nah, you don't get to downplay it now. You embarrassed me. You embarrassed our family. And now everybody gets to laugh at me while you sit here acting calm. The argument spiraled, with Bambi storming off set in tears while Kendra sat frozen, caught between defending herself and letting the chaos consume her. The episode ended without resolution, but one thing was clear. This storyline had cemented itself as one of the most shocking scandals in love and hip-hop history. Fans couldn't stop talking about it. Entire YouTube channels were dedicated to breaking down every detail. Gossip blogs ran headlines daily, and hashtags like #Scrappy and Kendra and Jock Exposed were trending for weeks. What made it all the more explosive was the fact that this wasn't just about cheating or messing up.